and we gave them a Disney cruise for Christmas, and we're on that cruise, and it was nuts. I mean, from sunup till sundown, and way past sundown, there was activities going all day long on the cruise ship alone, and then you get off the ship and there's all these activities, right? And my kids are just like, they wake up every day and say, what are we doing today? Because we're living the dream, you know? And so we're getting up and they're like, first we're gonna go watch a movie, but before the movie's even started, they're already wanting to go here, you know, and there and there and there. And I was so overwhelmed by the second day, I looked at Landon, who was doing that again. It's funny, you learn some of the greatest lessons from your kids, don't you? And I said, Landon, buddy, we can do anything on this cruise ship, but we can't do everything, child. So we're gonna have to make some choices. And it was crazy because the instant I said that, all this like aha moments just started flooding in. And I was like, I gotta teach my team that. I gotta make sure my team hears that. I mean, my VIP team, they get it. Because that's what they do day in and day out. Even if they don't say it, I see them. For those of you that are new, this may be very foreign to you, but I'm gonna explain it for you. You know, when you watch this Black Diamond video, you see the fruits of our success. What you don't see is the struggle, consistency, the persistency, the investment. Some of you might call that sacrifice. I call that investment that you're making in your business. You might not see the dad that looks like a single dad because mom's out working again. You know, Landon wanted me to coach his basketball team when he was in preschool. I couldn't. It was not, you can do anything, but you can't do everything. So I'm going to break that down for you, but first I need to hear you say it. You can do anything, but
can't do everything.
No, that was weak. You can do anything, but
can't do everything.
I want that to sink down deep right now, because you all always come up and say to all of us in this VIP section, I want to be in that seat, I want to be in that section. Unfortunately, you're not willing to do what it takes to get into that section. And Mike Patillo says it best, a lot less talk and a lot more action will get you into this. And I'm going to teach you how you can narrow that down today, or at least I'm going to speak through my experience. I love what John said yesterday, when we share our experience, it helps other people be successful. And that's what I want to do for you today. So, let me make sure I'm on task. All right. When I first started with It Works, as many of you might know, I was on sabbatical. Landon was 9 months old. And that means we're not making any money, right? They offered a second-year sabbatical, and Nathan and I, we had goals. We knew what we wanted to accomplish with our business. And I just said to him, I said, I think if I went back to where I waitressed in high school and did that a few days, it would free me up to still be home with Landon, make a little extra money, and go after our dreams. And my friends that all had their real jobs were coming in, watching me waitressing at my old high school. There's nothing wrong with waitressing, but you know, they're coming in going, using their college degrees, going, what's wrong with her? Why isn't she using her degree, you know? But you can do anything, but
can't do everything.
And I knew I needed that time to spend on my business, and I knew we still needed income. So I was willing to do what most people won't, so we could have what others will never have, right? And even auto ship, I'm thinking about auto ship. When people tell me they can't run an auto ship, I know they don't have it in here, and until they do, I'm not ready for them to be on my team, because I take my time very seriously. And when we got in, Nathan and I, we could not afford the auto ship. But we signed up on auto ship and got wraps because we knew that we had to sell at least 8 wraps every month. Wrap 8 people every month. And I love when Conways get up here and say, you wrap 8 people every month, then you're doing the steps to success, so it's a no-brainer, right? Same with conference. Right now, give yourself a round of applause for making the investment to be here. You know, Nathan and I couldn't afford conference, and y'all might think my dad would have paid for it, but he doesn't do things like that. He makes you earn it. Makes you a lot stronger when you have to earn it. And so Christmas gifts to each other would be conference. We'd give up lattes for a month so we could go to conference. Because you can do anything, but you can't do everything, right? You got to choose. You got to be intentional. You got to decide what you want, and then you got to go get it. And part of that is, I think you got to be very intentional with your schedule. We get our calendar out, and we have non-negotiables, things that we just can't get around. And if you're single mom, you're working this business alone, you're a husband and wife combo, you got a full-time job, you got some non-negotiables, right? But you still have a lot of time to creatively build a massive business. And so, start putting those non-negotiables on the list. If you are married, start doing roles. Start seeing who's going to do what. Make a list of everything that needs to be done, and then decide who's going to do what. You guys are always giving me the atta girls because I'm the face of our business. But I would not be where I am today with 3 children, 8, 5, and 4, if it wasn't for my amazing husband, Nathan, who has taken on a role that is very difficult for most men to take on. And Nathan, when you feel invisible, I want you to know that you're completely invaluable to me. Thank you. How about extracurricular activities? You got some of those going on? I didn't join a league for basketball. I gave up exercise. I'm not saying you have to do that. Sometimes I didn't eat unless Nathan brought me food. But we were working hard, and we had some very high goals, and we knew that you can do anything, but you can't do everything. And so we started getting real intentional with our time. See, good is the enemy of great. And I think a lot of us in this room are starting to get real good at, that's just not good for me and I shouldn't do that. But a lot of us are not good at saying no to the good so we can say yes to the great. I want you to stop saying, I'm going to be good, and I want you to start saying, I'm going to be great. I'm going to be great. And in order to be great, you got to say no to the good, and that's part of that scheduling thing. So, let's look at goals for 2014. Who's written their goals down? Only 7% of people write their goals down. Very important, and I do them every year. But every year I start writing my goals down, then I look at them and I get exhausted. And not just business goals, personal goals, spiritual goals, physical goals, all that kind of stuff. And then this year, though, more than ever, because Landon had just done that to me on the cruise ship, I look at that and I thought, what's my priority? What do I want to make sure? What's more of a 2-year goal? What's more of a 5-year goal? So even when you're writing your goals, you got to remember, you can do anything, but you can't do everything. And so what are you going to clear out if this is your priority this year? Because it's our time. A company only grows like this one time. Woo! And if you want to be a part of that, you need to go all in, blinders on, and focus like you've never focused on anything before. So these goals need to be measurable, they need to be extremely specific, and they have to be within your control. One of the things that ticks me off the most is when you come up to me and say, I didn't reach my goal because my team is not working. Then that's a terrible goal, because goals are based on what you can control. Otherwise, it's just a dream. So let's talk about execution. How are you going to execute those goals knowing that you can do anything, but you can't do everything? My big 3 things this year that I'm going to do because I can control is I'm going to grow and stretch. I'm going to keep pushing myself to a whole nother level. I got it, because you guys are on my toes. Big time. Heels, right? Connection. I think that's been the catalyst to my business. Connection, developing those relationships. Getting in people's business. Not just their working business, their business. You know what I mean? Investing in them, letting them invest in you, that's connecting. You can control that. And then activity, which is that execution piece. And you guys all know this last December, we put together a Blitz Challenge. I think a lot of you did it too. And the reason we did that is because, number one, we want to change the curve for that 4th quarter. Not my house, right? VIPers. And we did. Like I said, it'll be 8 years in March. My business and my check grew November October, November, December. It's never done that in the history of my paycheck. And that's because we got this Blitz Challenge rocking because we could control. It wasn't about the results, it was about activity. We all want the harvest of Black Diamond, but we're not willing to plant the seeds. How can you have a harvest if you don't have the seeds? And it may take some of you 1,000 seeds, it may take some of you 100 seeds. Will you keep planting seeds? Will you wipe away the result-driven, oh, poor me, and just get out there and put the Blitz card in people's hands? How do we say that, Mike? We wrap, we blitz, and we repeat, right? Or wrap, blitz, repeat, or blitz, wrap, repeat, but you get it. How about the steps to success, right? That's activity that we need to be following. I love when Major says she tears it out, she fills it out. Some months she does, sometimes she doesn't, but she does it again and again and again. I heard the Keenelans on Facebook say, it's done, you think I can do it again this month? I love it. And as leaders, we have to, leadership starts now. It starts with one, right? Okay, so in closing, I want to be honest with you here for a minute. You have a whole list of excuses. Every single one of you do, and even you in VIP have got a whole list of excuses why you might not make it to Black Diamond. And Carla Burns is right, it's all fear. It's either fear of failure or fear of success, one or the other. I've been there all year. Why would the Lord want me to have more money? Why would I set a goal like that? Because God wants good people to have the money because we do good things. Remember what John said yesterday? The more money you get, the bad people just get uglier and the good people just get better. So we want the better people with the money in their hands, right? So, take away the long list. Oh, I work, I'm full-time. I gotta have that income. Oh, you have a spouse that's supportive. I don't have a spouse that's supportive. I'm a single mom, I got 3 kids. Maybe it's, I can't travel like that. I can't afford to travel like that. You can do whatever you want to do. I hear people say they can't afford the kit. Next thing I know, they're out shopping and spending hundreds of dollars. So, and I hear you guys tell me all the time, it's not you guys, but you know, you got someone in your head right now, I can't go to conference, I don't have the money. They had the money, they just made a choice not to be at conference. That's just the reality at the end of the day. So, I want you to remember this. Especially if you're a single mom, especially if your spouse isn't supportive, especially if you've got a full-time job. You can do anything, but you can't do everything. I want you to say it with me one more time. You can do anything, but you can't do everything. And for those of you that work with me and I mentor you, I'm going to hammer this, I'm going to hammer this, I'm going to hammer this. When you tell me you pick something else up, when you tell me you're starting to do something else, how can you do 2 things well? You have a hard enough time doing one thing well, right? Stop signing up for other businesses. This is the real deal. Major had a post last month that said, grass ain't greener over there, it's plenty green right here. And that's what you've got your hands on. And I'm telling you, I know Mark's going to close it out today in a big, big way. I can say this more now confidently than ever, and every year I'm just blows me away that I can do that. It is our time. It is your time. They're going to do Black Diamond Experience again. Who wants to be Black Diamond? Who wants to be Diamond? You don't have to have a stage to have a story, but I'm telling you what, this is going to be a household name, and it isn't yet. Are you going to take part of the right time at the right place? I'm telling you, it's our time. Thank you very much.